Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. Right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to leave that, hit that subscribe button and the notify bell next to it. If you're listening to us in the audio realm, leave us a rating, a review, or a comment. It really does help the show. And of course, we're on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steve and Larson, where we have a variety of reward tiers. And of course, at the $20 a month tier, you too can be part of this show, Matt Chat. This is where we reach out to the friendos at that $20 tier and we say, hey, friendos.
Hey, friendos.
Send us your video questions.
Yes, please.
And we will answer them or debate them or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, anyways, we'll hop right into it. Of course, CM Punk seemingly weekly, maybe even a couple times a week, has been on the media stump.
Well, he's got a movie to promote, you know?
And, of course, every time he goes out to promote said movie, was it The Girl on the Third Floor?
Something like that.
He's asked a question, when are you going to get back to this wrestling thing? And seemingly...
His answer now is when I get the money.
Yeah, when the check clears.
When the money's big, then yes. So anyways, Rich has a question about what kind of money are we talking about. Let's see what Rich has to say.
Friendos, Rich the Smash Bro here. Now that CM Punk has officially now changed his mind again and said he is open to a return, what contract amount do you think he'll be offered versus how many years? And similar to a question I asked not too long ago, I think on the Raw thread or something, is it too early to count him in for Mania or for even the Rumble? But let me know, now that he keeps changing his mind and now he's open to stuff, what exactly is it going to take and what will he accept? Let me know, boys.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
All right, man. You go first on this.
I go first.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to take like the money that they start doling out for people to come back for like Crown Jewel and stuff. Mm-hmm. The huge money, you know, like mid six figures we're talking.
Yeah, it's like the Brock mid six figures or seven figures. I'm thinking seven. Seven figures.
Yeah, sorry, mid seven figures. We're talking like 5 million
like,
up, I would think.
Yeah, like Tyler Breeze makes mid six figures.
Yeah, sorry.
Millions,
yes. I something tells me Punk's probably not inclined to do the Crown Jewel shows though.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I agree with your answer as far as when he might come back. I think the options that Rich listed are all kind of too soon because we don't know what kind of reshape he's in. Well, here's the thing.
His trajectory right now is like he's coming back this week.
I know. But here's the thing. Imagine if he were to show up at the Rumble, not in a sort of wrestling capacity.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Pipe Bomb 2.0.
Yeah.
The Rumble was the last show he ever did in 2014, I want to say. So 6 years later, some nice symmetry to things from a storytelling perspective.
Yeah.
And if he's going to have a match at Mania, so be it. You know, he said he's open to it. Now he says he's open to it, even though for years he said he wasn't interested at all.
Ooh, yeah.
So I guess possibility exists is going to happen. It probably will happen at some point. Until it actually does happen, I don't think it's a certainty it's going to happen, though. That being said, it's going to take a large paycheck for him to come out and do it because it's not just getting back out to performing. And granted, he's been doing the MMA training, so I'm sure he's in great shape. But that's different than pro wrestling training. And as we saw when he came out with the mask and the hoodie on.
Oh, lay off that. You harp on that way too much.
It was an ugly GTS. It was not a good-looking GTS.
None of his GTSs were ever good-looking, man.
They're better looking than that one was.
And on top of that, you can't judge the guy off of one GTS. He came out. He's probably all nervous because he had to keep that mask on. He has a hood on, and he drops a guy with a GTS.
You're
so he was a bigger
CM
dude.
Punk apologist.
You got that right, buddy boy.
All right, go ahead.
Man, have him come back at the NXT after Crown Jewel. You want to destroy AEW in one fell swoop. You pay him all sorts of money to show up on NXT. Then get to NXT Adam Cole takeover match. CM Punk wins the NXT title. Then he shows up with that title, kind of like Kevin Owens did when he won the NXT title. And he's like, hey, I didn't even want to come back to crap Raw or SmackDown. I'm on NXT, and I'm going to defend this in the main event of WrestleMania. I don't know. That's a bit silly. But, yeah, I think that and I have here at the NXT after Crown Jewel, which is like literally a couple weeks from now, which isn't going to happen. But my God, he does seem every time nowadays he opens up his mouth, it's about coming back to wrestling.
I half expect him to say next time he does an interview, "Oh, I've already started training."
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You're right about everything. How much money it's going to take for him to come back? It's going to take a lot. I guess the only question at that point is, does I mean, look, You'd think that every time they at least once a month on Raw or SmackDown, you get CM Punk chants still. I mean, it was last week on Raw. It was kind of a crap crowd, to be honest with you. But I mean, it's right now. It's in the same league, maybe not as the what chants, but it's definitely number 2 in terms of annoying crowd chants. And I'm not thinking that that's like necessarily their litmus test for is there still a demand for this guy. But I think the fact that everybody blows up YouTube like us with speculation over any time he opens up his mouth about CM Punk, I would think that would lead WWE to believe that, yeah, there's money to be made with this guy.
Oh, yeah, I think that'd be plainly self-evident.
I would think so. So yeah, I mean, the question is, would they back up a Brock Lesnar-esque Brinks truck for Punk? They might. I mean, look, Vince is all about popping those short-term ratings. That would certainly do it.
That would accomplish it.
That would certainly do it. The sad thing is, they would probably do it in the lamest way possible.
Of course.
Like if the question is how would they book it, it'd be great if there was some surprise. All of us, Triple H is out there or whatever. All of a sudden, Cult of Personality hits. But it would be like some cheesy.
They're going to announce it on Twitter or on
They
the
would
Bump
announce it
like
on
that.
Twitter, yeah.
I know. Exclusive on WWE's The Bump. CM Punk is coming back.
Yeah.
Something like that. No drama to it whatsoever. Next got a question from Christopher and Prasad.
Hello, Stephen Larson. So my question is, I want you guys to debate if Randy Orton should go to AEW or stay at WWE.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you, Christopher.
Now I see why you wanted me to go first. The previous question, because you want to go first on this one.
What is this? Oh, yeah. No, it's just you had a better written answer on that last one. Should Randy Orton go to AEW? Hell yes, he should. They should back up that Brock Lesnar level Brinks truck. Give Randy Orton all the money. Whatever WWE offers him, double it. Vince will easily be able to outbid them. But they really should take an honest stab at Randy Orton. I think it would be shocking, absolutely shocking, for him to show up on Dynamite. I think it would be a total needle mover. I think lots of people would tune in. I think people are kind of fascinated with, you see both Jericho and to, I think, a bigger degree, Jon Moxley, formerly Dean Ambrose in WWE. You've seen what they can do outside the WWE system and how, honestly, better it can be. Randy Orton might be the opposite of that. If he gets a giant AEW paycheck, he might shift into Kevin Nash WCW mode. That's a definite possibility.
That's why he should stay in WWE.
All right, fine. Go ahead then.
He should stay in WWE because of that. He already has seemingly motivation issues. If he's not in the story that he's either really into or is high profile, he cruises, man.
Yeah.
And if he's getting that, he's got that posh schedule. He's working 1 day a week, collecting huge paychecks. Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, and I could be wrong. And if he's put in this position, I hope I'd be proven wrong. He's not the type of guy right now, I think, in his career. Again, if I'm wrong, it's fine. Where he could put the company on his back. Like Jericho's putting AEW on his back. It's a team effort, but he's stepping up saying, all right, dude, hop on, let's go.
His presence alone.
Yeah, for a week or so, but he's not going to be doing, like Jericho's out there doing press.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. I kind of disagree. And maybe him using social media and Twitch streams, among other things, to advance this narrative that he is educated in stuff going on outside the WWE. He's soliciting Will Ospreay for matches.
Yeah.
He's talking up Sammy Guevara on Twitch streams.
You know what? Leverage.
I agree totally.
Leverage.
But at the same time, what if there is the 20% chance that Randy Orton actually is really in tune with stuff outside the WWE?
It's entirely possible.
And would actually enjoy putting on a match with Will Ospreay or Sammy Guevara.
I'm sure he would enjoy it, nonetheless. But here's the other thing about Randy.
The motivation could come at that point. I don't know what
I don't know. I don't want to make the man tick. I don't know. The other issue is AEW, by and large, everybody's like a really exceptional wrestler. Orton, by all accounts, he's a really safe worker. He's not known for necessarily putting on 5-star classics.
Yeah, but dude, I don't know. I don't
know how his very particular WWE style of wrestling would mesh with some of the stuff that's going on in AEW right now.
Randy Orton can be a very good storyteller.
He can
look at how far Cody has come over the past 12 months. This dude has put on at least 2 match of the year candidates over the past 12 months.
Cody has expressed publicly a desire to improve as a performer.
Yeah, sure, but here's the thing. All you need is a really good story going into it, and then tell a really good story in the ring. And you don't need fancy moves. You just need some real high drama.
I'm not talking about him doing topes or shooting star presses.
I think Orton is absolutely capable of it. Outside that, I think that is one thing that being outside the WWE system has taught us. It's that a guy like Dean Ambrose, who I did not think, I honestly thought that was the kind of guy who would be totally fine collecting that fat paycheck and didn't want to get involved in death matches. And boy, was I wrong about that. I don't know. I mean, I honestly, my gut says, yeah, probably not with Randy Orton. He's probably doing that for A, to troll Vince, and B,
leverage for a fat paycheck.
For leverage. But he knows he could be completely silent on social media and still get that fat paycheck regardless. I think he's kind of a troll.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a troll. That being said, it would be very interesting to see a guy like Randy Orton, who, yes, has been in WWE his entire career. What would it be like if he wasn't in the WWE? And would he be able to have a Cody-esque renaissance in the ring?
It'll depend on if he's willing to challenge himself. If he's not, then it's not going to happen. If he is, then there could be improvement across the board, and he could be interesting. But it's all dependent if he's willing to challenge himself.
Yeah,
that's it.
If he gets out, if he is let loose, and he's like,
putting everybody left and right, shoving legends downstairs.
I mean, here's the thing about Orton. One thing that we've seen. He's not always unmotivated.
No,
he's motivated when he's got somebody he likes to work with. Doesn't that show you that the guy, if he's got something interesting and creative in front of him,
here's the thing,
he's about it?
The difference between a motivated and an unmotivated Randy Orton is a motivated Randy Orton is reasonably enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I think it's very enjoyable to watch.
He can be very enjoyable.
Especially these days when he gives so few Fs.
Hold on. But he never really transcends to must watch. Whereas unmotivated Randy Orton is like watching paint dry.
Yeah, but I enjoy motivated Randy Orton.
I enjoy it too. But again, I'm not going to tune in just to see motivated Randy Orton.
I think a lot of people would. I think your mind would be changed. I didn't think I'd ever tune in just to see Cody. And oh my God, that dude has turned himself.
He has challenged himself to become a better wrestler.
I don't think that you can say that Randy Orton wouldn't do that.
I'm not saying I can't say definitively he wouldn't. I'm just going by what he's shown us. That even in opportunities where he may not be in the most interesting storyline, that's an opportunity to take the most of whatever you're doing, challenge yourself to make crap better.
When Cody was in WWE, he did that. So
yeah, he did. Anything Cody got in WWE, he did to the fullest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Say the same for Randy.
That's a good point.
Next, got a question from Jacksonville's.
Number one.
Who are you going to say?
Guion Halili.
Yeah, Guion.
Hey there, friendos. This is Jacksonville's number one Matt Chatter, Guion Halili, back with another Matt Chat question. This week I want to know, we're about a month into AEW becoming a weekly TV show, AEW Dynamite, and it has truly been a fresh air just to watch something different. So that leads to what my question is. In the past month, what has been different in all of the pro wrestling landscape? What are things that you guys have noticed that has just changed a little bit? Doesn't matter what promotion, just want to know what you guys think. All right, later guys. Too sweet, hearty handshake. Peace.
Thank you, Guion.
Thank you, Guion. You go first.
All right, I feel like excitement levels across the board are just higher.
You noted here WWE has decent crowds. Is that true? Is there attendance up?
I don't know if I wasn't talking necessarily about attendance. I just felt like they seem more vocal.
Yeah.
Ever since SmackDown went to Fox, that crowd in LA was good. The last 3 weeks, it feels like WWE crowds are a bit more excited to be there.
They have been doing. I mean, they've been doing a bit more special event level stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the possibility is that they're not obnoxious. You mentioned the CM Punk chants the other night.
The what
obnoxious,
chants?
The what chants? Yeah, obnoxious
even
still.
Full Sail, God.
Yeah, but I feel like the people are just feel in general more excited about professional wrestling than they have in a very long time. And yes, a lot of that is it has to be attributed to AEW because it feels like a breath of fresh air. But then you got that you mentioned in your answer here. NWA Power. A lot of people, I still need to check it out. A lot of people were really excited about that.
Man, it's so much fun.
Bound for Glory apparently was a really good show. Impact just had their debut on Access this past. I think it's next week. Next week it is. So Impact fans are gonna be really excited about that. There's a lot to be excited about. New Japan having their own American subsidiary, something to be excited about there. there's a lot of excitement, I feel like, and that hasn't happened in a while. And regardless of what kind of wrestling you watch, what kind you like, there's something for you. There's something to get excited about. And I don't feel like people are quite as well. They're still cynical and they're still jaded, but there's a bit more genuine excitement going on right now.
I think you're right. I think people are more engaged right now, and that can be a positive thing with like healthy crowds. Fans that are engaged in the action that they're seeing in the ring. It can also be reflected in a negative way. You see a lot of that on Twitter or in our YouTube comments. When depending on the day or the topic, we're either WWE shills, AEW shills, NXT shills. We're shills for something. So there is a lot of engagement. The engagement is up, and excitement. Yeah, sure. I think one thing that's really exciting is that, between NWA, AEW, WWE, the idea of NXT Japan possibly around the corner, a lot of wrestlers are getting paid money, and I think that's really, really cool. So yeah, I think that's all true. I just wonder, nobody is, so AEW is getting to the point of sort of like must see, but I really wonder, I think that WWE especially has so many pieces in terms of like how wide their roster is, that their product could be a lot more must see than it is.
Yeah.
If they went balls out, like, man, it would be killer every single week, but Vince is Vince. So it would be interesting to see what would happen if WWE stepped up their creative, because then everybody else would step it up too. I mean, you see AEW, they're doing their darndest right now to bring only the best. And, I know the dudes at NXT also, they're really bringing everything they have. But I don't know. I'd really like to get to an Attitude Era level of actual excitement in tuning in.
Definitely.
That's what I want to see. And I think that boils down exclusively to the creative aspect of things. So we're not there quite yet, but I think there's a lot of pieces in place for something really special to happen.
Yeah. Next, got a question from Joshua Martinez.
Hey, friendos. So with AEW Dark becoming like a pretty good show to watch, the matches there do kind of reflect what happens on actual TV, and they have pretty good matches on there. How do you see that affecting AEW's plans to possibly have a second show on TV? I would think it would be on TBS. Do you think they should bring AEW Dark to TBS on tape delay, or do you think they should just make a whole new show for TBS and keep Dark on YouTube? Be interested to know what you guys think. Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, Joshua.
Thank you, Joshua.
Go ahead, Steve.
Man, so I don't want any. I hope they don't do a second show. I haven't heard that either. I think that'd be a terrible idea because, like, it's too much.
Yeah, it's overexposing the product.
One thing I love about NWA Power, especially like these past 2 weeks. Like the first episode was like, okay, this is cool, but I kind of want to see how this is going to pan out over the next couple of weeks, and it's so much fun, that show. Everybody's having so much fun. And it's 1 hour. Something like this past week, it was like 47 minutes. And you get everything you need in that 1 hour. Limited recaps, but they're there if you need them. The promos are outstanding on Power. And the roster is terrific. It really is. With AEW, you need to watch Dynamite. If you want the characters more fleshed out, you should be watching Being the Elite. And then, of course, there's Dark, where week to week they've had match of the week candidates.
Yeah.
This week or last week they had Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela. I think this week Janela fights somebody else. I forget who.
Brandon Cutler.
So, you might want to be watching that as well. And again, you're looking at 3 hours and like 20 minutes if you count Being the Elite as your weekly, if you want everything from AEW. That's a bit much. That's a bit much. So in my opinion, sort of, the more economy you can use with your storytelling, the better off you're going to be. That's why I like Power so much. And again, you can, if you only want to watch Dynamite, you only need to watch Dynamite.
That's all you need to watch. Yeah.
But if you want the characters fleshed out, instead of them fleshing them out during that 2 hour broadcast, they're fleshing them out other places.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't think they should do a second show. Keep Dark on YouTube. Use that to build up because that's on the same YouTube channel as Being the Elite, I think, isn't it?
No. Being the Elite's on Being the Elite. Dark's on the AEW YouTube channel, where they do the Road to stuff.
Do they still do weekly Road 2s regardless of the pay-per-view?
I don't know. No, you're right. Keep Dark on YouTube. Build up that channel. Build up that platform. If I've learned anything through doing what we do, it's that diversification is key. You don't want to rely solely on one platform to get your content out there. You got to have various avenues for people to watch your stuff. If you just think, okay, we're going to put all our content up on TV, you lose one of those deals, then it's a whole house of cards crashing down on you. Keep Dark on YouTube, and it's way too early for a second broadcast show. I don't know if the depth of talent is quite there yet. In 5-10 years, if they're a thriving wrestling company and they think that there's the depth of talent,
never do it.
No, I don't think they should either. But
they don't never do it.
Then if it's economically viable and creatively viable, sure, but not anytime soon.
So Shot of Brandy is on the All Elite Wrestling channel. They've got exclusives from like dark segments on the show, on Dynamite previews.
Some little segments, the Cody video package, it looks like.
Yeah. They've got little recap things here. So, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the Road 2 stuff's on the Nightmare Family channel. There's so many channels out now.
I know. Like here's the thing. When you say you shouldn't rely on a single platform, they really should have migrated Being the Elite to All Elite Wrestling. You know? I mean, I don't know. It's their business. It's working really well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying from my point of view, look, it's easy enough to you just subscribe to it and hopefully you'll get a notification.
What they could do is
maybe that's what you should be doing because when I get notifications, you start a second channel.
Is you do it timed exclusive. You have it on Being the Elite channel first, and like 2 days later, you put it on there.
Yeah,
something like that.
Or
a bridge version, something.
They're still figuring. We're all still figuring
exactly.
It out.
Next, got a question from Andy Nero.
Hey, friendos. It's been a while since I had a match chat question, so I've got one for you today. Who is most improved? Carmella or Baron Corbin? Thanks, friendos. Bye.
Thank you, Andy Nero.
Thank you, Andy Nero.
I'm going to say Baron Corbin.
Okay.
And this is why.
Why have I improved?
If you're talking strictly in-ring performance as far as wrestling, Carmella's probably the answer. Even going way back to her days in NXT, she was really good on the mic. Mm-hmm. She's always been really good on the mic. She's gotten even better since she got brought up to main. In NXT, Baron Corbin had one thing, a cool finish.
Dude, his wrestling has not changed all that.
It actually
much.
has changed a lot. His pace is way fast. Watch it.
His pace was fast. That was his whole gimmick in NXT.
Not in the early days.
Big guy that can move fast.
He
that
was
his
plotting.
thing.
He had like 3 moves and a cool finish.
I disagree.
I remember some of his matches where I was like, "This is
maybe against Bull Fit." You remember that dude?
Yeah, I remember Bull Fit. But then, like 6 months later, it seemed like he was on Baron's on the main roster.
Yeah,
he has improved a lot in the ring.
His character has.
His promos. His in-ring ability has improved a lot. A lot.
I disagree.
A lot. Watch some of his stuff like a month or two before he got called up.
I
did.
I
know. I watched a lot of it too. It was plotting. It was boring. It wasn't that great.
Oh, I disagree completely.
It was plotting. Way too many squash matches where he'd throw a couple punches and then end of days, and that was it. His character work has improved a ton. His mic work has improved a lot.
He used
to be one of the worst trash talkers I have ever heard.
Yeah.
He was horrible.
I'm not sure he's all that better at trash
talking. But I feel like he's more aware of his own limitations.
Yeah.
And therefore just focuses on his strengths rather than worrying about his showcasing his weaknesses whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think as an all-around performer, I feel like Baron has grown more.
Mm-hmm.
Not taking anything away from Carmella. Like I said, in terms of what goes on in the ring, she's improved a ton.
She's improved a lot.
She's improved more than probably Baron has in that one capacity. But I just feel like in terms of everything that it takes to be a pro wrestler, Baron had more to learn and more to improve at than Carmella did.
I don't know.
So I feel like Baron.
I take a look at what Carmella did. Does in the ring now, which I think is pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she can hang with we've seen that before. She's been able to hang with the horsewomen. And then if you take a look at her character work from when she was champion, I thought there was a sea change there from where she was before, both in wrestling and on the mic. And I kind of feel like Baron Corbin is still Baron Corbin from NXT, except he's really good. He's really improved on the microphone in those long-ass segments. He knows how to milk the crowd. But wrestling-wise, I don't think there's like a huge difference there. I really don't.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Next up, Stephen M. has a question about the Friendoverse.
Going on, guys? Stephen M here with my match eye question. I'm going to try and get them back to be weekly. So I want you to book a Friendoverse gauntlet match pay-per-view. So one men's match, one women's match, and one tag team match. And just from everybody in the Friendoverse, like maybe 6 teams or people in each match. And maybe take it each, like you each book 3 and show us who can book best and book me strong boys. So too sweet. Hearty handshake.
Thank you, Stephen M.
Thank you, Stephen M.
Go ahead.
Well, of course, I've got a love-hate relationship with the Discord. I love to hate them. That's pretty much it. And so I'm going to go with the Discord Beat the Clock Challenge.
All right.
I'm not sure if any of those Discord people know how to read time.
Oh, my goodness.
Be it on a digital clock or like on one with the hands on it. Analog, whatever you call it. Anyways, yeah. So they're not going to even know how to do it. So you know what the Discord Beat the Clock Challenge would be like? It'd be like the WWE 2K20 game, a giant glitch-filled mess. Yeah.
I'm going to do a gauntlet match to see who is a true champion of Therith Abada's Friendo Fantasy Football League.
Oh no!
This is an upstart league. It's a long-term keeper type situation.
It'll last one season.
We'll see about that.
Less than.
No, it'll last the whole season at least. Like many new leagues, there's some growing pains.
Do you know how to guarantee that league will last more than the season? You become commissioner.
No, we had this match.
Can we get that? Can we get that going?
All
Raise
right,
your hand
fine,
if you want to be commissioner. Raise your hand. Ugh.
How about this? Whoever wins this match is commissioner.
Yeah. So we need to rig it so that you win it.
No Montreal screwjob situation here. I don't want to be commissioner.
As long as it's not Zach Stolper.
It's going to be a finger poke of doom situation with whoever I'm in the ring against. Interest.
Luisa Reza sent in a text question.
Text question.
Would AEW be better if they had started, let's say, 5 years ago under the exact same circumstances? Before people like Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Adam Cole, et cetera, had signed with WWE, or maybe even 10 years ago.
Well, the problem is that these set of circumstances didn't exist 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
This is the perfect storm, if you will, of the seeds, the genesis, if you will, of a new wrestling promotion. You had a collective of wrestlers in the elite who had found the algorithm for social media dominance, for independent entrepreneurship. Meanwhile, you have a super rich son of a billionaire who is really into wrestling, really saw what the elite had to offer. You had TNT, apparently people over there willing to take the risk on wrestling again. You had a bet being proffered via Dave Meltzer on Twitter. You had Ring of Honor suckers willing to help out the elite, create their own competition.
Yeah, more or less.
None of this is such a specific and insane set of circumstances, which has led us to where we are today. Nothing would have changed. I mean, yeah, some of these names back then, the big independent or the big names who were coming out of Impact or the indie ranks or whatever, yeah, they would have ended up with AEW, sure. But, this situation, it wouldn't have happened. Even 5 years ago, social media was way different than it is now or 12 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, 5 years ago, as great as indie wrestling was and all the huge names that came out of the indie scene in the last 5 or 10 years, there never was the buzz like there about any of that, like there was about the elite.
Not even close.
Nothing close
Nobody.
to it. Nothing close to it. Like, even before we went to a PWG show, I'd heard for years about Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I knew what it was. I knew they put on great shows. But even all the awesome stuff Ring of Honor was doing in the mid-late aughts. Like, they were doing great stuff. You'd hear about it, but never did it get to the point where, wow, you can find a Samoa Joe T-shirt in Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's lightning in a bottle. You said perfect storm. Things just happened. Everything fell into place at the right time. They were really good at marketing themselves. They were putting on incredible matches. I think also people were looking for a real viable alternative to the WWE action. They've been seeing the same WWE action they've been seeing on TV for the last 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah. I mean,
that was kind of easy to get.
I guess if the question is if AEW somehow had started 5 years ago, let's say somehow there was a perfect storm where TNT, a billionaire, got together and started snatching up names.
And then the Mount Rushmore wrestling at Kevin Owens and the Young Bucks.
And the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, and then like Samoa Joe, which I think he probably left Impact around then.
It was 2014 left Impact.
Yeah. So, I mean, would the crop of NXT guys who started getting signed 5 years ago, if they were the AEW core, along with guys like Kenny Omega and then like I guess Cody, I mean, would they be? I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is AEW was a truly organic groundswell that started with the Young Bucks and Kenny and their YouTube channel. That's where it started. Like it had this grassroots, that thing that just carried them.
I'll say
completely.
This. The Lariato Twitter account didn't start until 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Lariato should be getting a lot more credit for all this without spreading all the gifts that he did of all the awesome stuff at New Japan.
Yeah.
Who knows if it would have blown up quite like it did.
Yeah. New Japan should never have they should never have told that guy to ease up on that, because it keeps them interesting. It keeps them in the consciousness, you know.
Got a couple more text questions here. Next from Tiger Mask Tim Morris. Friendos, you obtained the powers of the darkness from the Undertaker and used them to steal the moves of other wrestlers to create your own perfect wrestling.
I'm done wrestling. I'm going to make my own wrestler now.
Whose moves do you steal? You can have 3 signatures, 1 submission, and 1 finisher. However, you can't both pick the same wrestler's move. This is what I got.
Go ahead.
Signatures. Walter Chop.
Is that a signature? Yeah, I guess
for him it is.
Signature, yeah.
Because he doesn't
sort of the penultimate big move.
Yes. Kota Ibushi's Spirit Bomb.
That was a good one.
And then Phoenix's Suicide Dive.
Oh, that's a good one.
My submission would be the Bro Mission. Because not only the submission thing, you can also drop elbows on somebody. Finally, the finish is Claymore.
Boy.
That's an explosive move.
You've got the weakest lineup, man.
No, man,
compared to mine, listen to this.
Yawn.
Signature.
You got the worst finish.
Are you kidding me?
This isn't the 80s anymore.
This is all kayfabe. Last shot.
Yeah, no one kicks out a Claymore anymore.
Shush. Last shot, V1, right? That was good enough for Adam Cole to finish his way all the way up to NXT, and then he changed it to something else, which is kind of silly. So now it's a signature, though. Number 2.
And now his finisher is like super weak.
Number 2, Okada's Tombstone. Boom. I mean, it's a tombstone done by the greatest wrestler on the planet. I win there. Next, Kenny's V-Trigger.
That's the best signature you have on your list.
Well, I think the Tombstone is. Submission, Sharpshooter, as performed by Bret Hart, not the weak Scorpion Death Lock. Performed by Sting.
All right.
And then, of course, obviously, look, man, if you're going to create the perfect wrestler, your finisher is Hogan's leg drop. If you have the power of Hogan's leg drop, oh my God, you're winning everything. Everything. Did Rock kick out of the leg drop?
I think so.
Oh my gosh. Him and Sid, the only people.
Sid did.
The only people ever to kick out.
The fact that Sid kicked out of it just kind of really lowers it in my eyes.
Well, that was just a botch anyways. That's because Papa Shango came out 3 minutes late.
Finally, a text question from the Hadley Doodley champ. He says, this question comes from Renegade Soul, and the question is, in a shocking twist, the 2020 elections are not for electing the President of the United States, but President of all of wrestling.
Cool.
Name any wrestling figures, wrestlers, broadcasters, producers, etc., that would be the representative for the Democratic, Republican, and Green Party, and any other respected third parties that would normally run an election. Who do you have, Steve?
Well, we agree completely on the Green Party. You suggested Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
That's obvious. Obviously, for the GOP, you got Jake Hager, a.k.a. Jack Swagger. Apparently, the guy's like legitimately like a Trump guy. If you look at his Twitter feed, it's just full of that toxic freaking Trump crap. And then for the Democratic Party, I'm going to go with Brandy Rhodes.
Great answer.
She's the Chief Brandy Officer.
Chief Brandy Officer.
Yeah,
yes.
there she is. I mean, if you take a look at that Nightmare Family, number one, you have to rebrand them, not the Nightmare Family.
Yeah.
They have to go back to being like the Dream Family or something, or the American Dream Family.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But Cody, what a dashing first man he would make.
Exactly.
The dashing first man. And they got that great dog. Every great White House occupant has
The iconic
dog.
canine, yes.
Of course, I don't think any dogs like this guy that's in now. He's expressed displeasure for dogs, so that obviously ain't got a soul. And so I think Brandy would come in. She would bridge the partisan divide. She would lead this country to new and greater heights, and it would be fantastic.
It's a good answer.
Yeah,
it's a great answer.
Great answer.
I'd put Becky Lynch.
Okay, cool. The man.
Yeah.
The man's in office.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why?
No, I think it'd be really cool, man.
That'd be
She's
pretty
cool.
cool. That'd be
She's
cool.
cool. That'd be potentially Seth would be first man.
Mm-hmm. Not so cool.
No,
Yeah,
but
rethink that one.
Becky's super cool.
How about this? Now, how about this?
Huh.
Charlotte. That way you have Andrade as the most dashing Latin lover first man ever. That'd be good. And then you got Ric Flair in there.
Oh gosh.
Like, going in the middle of
a cabinet meeting, wooing it up.
Exactly. Yeah. Dirty Jake Hager with his stupid polo shirts. Anyways, that's it for. Cool. That's it for Matt Chat, right? Is that what this is?
Yeah, Matt Chat. That's right.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.